So as you can tell by the title of this video, you probably already know what I'm about to talk about. But I will start by saying that this is a video I've been putting off for quite some time. It's definitely a video I never thought I'd have to make. It's definitely the hardest video I've ever made, and I'm hoping that it's the hardest video I will ever have to make. I've been going through it. November was a really tough month for me, just with getting my boobs done and facing an allergic reaction, an infection, and then going to the ER 3 times in 1 month, and then going into surgery twice in 1 month for a removal and then a revision, and it's been awful. And as if that wasn't enough for a single person to go through with, I also went through a breakup. And I know I've been a little silent on social media, but obviously it's because I'm trying to heal and just stay positive and work on myself behind the scenes or whatever. And it's been really hard. I have received numerous DMs asking about what happened with Ethan and I, and I was on like a little waiting game, and I didn't want to answer anything until it was like done, and I'm just trying to figure it out. But I know that at the end of the day, like, relationships, it's my life, it's my personal life, and I know at the end of the day I don't owe anyone an explanation, and I don't have to make this video. I don't even have to make a post if I want to, but you guys know me, and the one thing I do pride myself in is that I do share so authentically, and I share so truly to like what I deal with. And so whether it's positive or negative, I guess this is probably one of the more negative things I've had to share, besides like everything that went on with my surgery. That was obviously my health at risk. Anyways, it's been really freaking hard, but I do feel like I owe a little bit of an explanation, just because we were so public about our relationship and we had so many people rooting for us. And so I guess I'll start by saying I was just as blindsided as you probably are, and this just came out of nowhere to me. I had nothing led up to it. When I started to not get replies to texts, I knew something was up. And there's a lot that goes into this story that's personally not my story to tell. So as far as his end of it, I'm not going to go too into detail because, like I said, that's his personal business. But the best way I can just explain and tell you what happened was November 4th, a Monday, I got my surgery. And then about a few days after that, it was Saturday, and there was the big Alpha Elite launch. And every Alpha Elite launch, Ethan will buy us both things. And I had bought us matching outfits, the new identity joggers and matching camo hoodies, and I was so excited to give them to him. But it was like noon, and I hadn't heard from him for hours. And then another few hours went by, and I still hadn't heard from him. I'm sorry, not to sound like a psycho, but I'm like, hello, he's not texting me back, and it's been 5, 6, 7 hours. Finally, I get a text back, and I've been asking, hello, is everything okay? Like, you're really making me worried. I didn't know if something happened. And like I said, there was nothing that led up to this. So I was just really confused and worried. And then eventually I got a text back, and he was like, hey, like, there's a lot on my mind right now, and we'll have to talk when I get off of work. And I'm like, well, is it about us? Like, what's going on? And he was like, I'll have to explain when I get off of work. And so I'm just like, oh my gosh, and I'm freaking out because I'm like, what's going on? Like, what did I do? Like, of course my first instinct is to blame myself for whatever happened. And so finally we get on a phone call. I ask him, let's do FaceTime like we always do. And basically he just told me that a lot is going on in his mind, and he has been dealing with stress and depression. I don't want you to think that I'm just out here like spilling all of his drama, but these are things that he shares about publicly. And he was just telling me that he's really stressed with everything going on in school. He's a full-time nursing student. He works a lot of hours, and just on top of that, he's just really busy. And even with work and school, he still finds time to work out. And you guys know, like, he keeps really busy. And he was just telling me how all of it's catching up to him and a few other things, and he just needed some space. And so he told me he'd get back to me hopefully the next day, if not, because he has assignments due the next day. And I ended up texting him, and then a double text the next day, and then a week went by and no word from him. So in the meantime, I'm just dealing with full-on heartbreak because I'm pretty sure that the love of my life is leaving me. Sorry, I didn't want to cry. Sorry, this is just really hard. So a week went by and I'm covered in a rash. My heart is completely broken. I'm blindsided, confused. This guy calls me his wife. I'm supposed to be moving in with him the week after Christmas of this year. 90% of my wardrobe is in our new apartment, and I'm just pretty positive it's over. I wanted to be as respectful of the space that he asked for as I could. At the end of the day, like, just how guys are. Like, if a guy wants to talk to you, he will talk to you, and that's something that I've learned from my sister and something I've always reminded myself of when it comes to dating, because at the end of the day, if a guy wants to talk to you, he will talk to you. But meanwhile, I'm just over here with this huge rash. I'm just totally heartbroken and confused and, yeah, blindsided, like I said. Can't stop crying, and I'm not proud of this, but like, it was just seriously like a version of myself I've never seen. Like, I couldn't sleep literally at all, no matter how many like melatonin I took. And then I found out later that like melatonin like reverses itself if you take too much of it, so that was bad. And like, if I even tried to eat, I would just literally throw it up. Like, I couldn't eat, and it was crazy because I literally lost 11 pounds in 4 days. But then I was able, like, after like 2 weeks, I was able to get back to where I was, and then the proper way I lost a little bit more weight, so it's okay. But like, I just felt so sick. Like, there was like this feeling in my stomach like I couldn't get rid of, and it was just so hard. Like even my family, like, they have not left my side. Like, my sister literally has not left my side, and I'm like so thankful for that. And like, my friends have been so good to me, and like my friend Cameron like just wanted to help and like booked me a flight to Idaho to go visit him and his girlfriend's new house, and it was so nice to get a distraction. But like, still like no word from Ethan. And then like, oh, I forgot that actually before I went to Idaho, I was dealing with the whole rash, and then I ended up taking the steroid which caused the infection, and then I had to go to the ER again to go get some antibiotics. And after I got out of the ER is when I called Ethan, because I just couldn't take it anymore. I was like, it's been a week, like, I can't handle this like whole like ghosting situation. Like, you are my boyfriend, like, I understand that you need space to figure it out, like, you're really going through it, and I'm the first person who knows that, and something that I've been talking to you about for a long time. And like, I've always been like a listening ear to just listen to like what he's going through and offer the best advice I can. Like, obviously I'm not like some trained professional in depression and, you know, stress, but like, at the end of the day, like, I'm supportive and I'll listen, like, whatever. And I've just always tried to be like a good support system for him, and like, I know that I have. But yeah, after I got out of the ER, I called him and I was like, I just literally cannot take this anymore. Like, what's going on? Like, what's on your mind? Like, what do you want to do? And then finally I got a phone call from him, and by the way he answered the phone, I knew it wasn't going well. I know he's going through a lot, and like, these things that he's going through are like nothing to just like push to the side. But it's just like really sad that throughout that phone call, it was clear that he was choosing to push me away through all of that. Basically, like I said, I'm not here to tell his story, but these are things that he shares like openly. So he was just like saying how basically he is going through a lot right now, depression, stress, and figuring out like who he is and learning about who, like, his own happiness. And he's been realizing like through making friends at school and stuff that like he's finally able to feel like himself, you know, if that's what makes him happy. And, you know, going out to the country, like where he grew up, and, you know, reconnecting with old friends and feeling like he's totally happy and feeling content with how his life is going right now. And that means that I can't be a part of it. Then like, basically I had to just accept that, because that was what he was telling me, is that He feels like through his weight loss journey, he, you know, grew up in the country and he used to drink and smoke and chew or whatever, and in order to get rid of all of those things, he moved into the city and did all of these things to leave the person that he was, because he was trying so hard to change in so many aspects of himself that he feels like now he's been living behind this facade, and I don't know who he is. He doesn't feel right bringing me out to Texas to have to learn that for myself. So putting it that way, you know, I feel grateful, because like how awful would it be for me to uproot my entire life and go out there to Dallas, and then he has this mindset again and then tells me, you know, we can't be together, we can't live together, and that would be really hard. I would have no one else to go to. I have a couple friends in Dallas who are so sweet, somebody who I looked forward to hanging out with. Whole apartment that I wanted to go see, that I got to tour with him, and we signed a lease together, and this was the first time I was ever gonna move in with a boy, and it was just such a big move. And we went shopping for the apartment, like so many things, and I had so much to look forward to for the new year. We always talked about our 2020 vision, and you know, he talked about proposing after nursing school, at least before Christmas, and we just had literally, I knew I would need this. We just had literally like so much planned for our lives, and it's just really hard to just like all of a sudden be told one day, literally out of nowhere, there was nothing else leading up to this. Like, we didn't even fight, like we never had any issues, and like, yeah, it's been 7.5 or 8 months, and I know that's not very long, but like it felt like forever, and we always saw forever together, and he made me feel like I had to never question it. He assured me like, so it's like literally every day, like we texted back and forth. If he wasn't at work or school, he was FaceTiming me in between. Every hour drive home from his work or school, we FaceTimed. We slept together on FaceTime. Like, we were always talking, even like through long distance, like we made it work, and it never seemed like a struggle. Like literally, it seemed easy. And yeah, I don't know, it's just like so hard to just all of a sudden like not even have a chance to work through it or grow through it. Like, he said it, he needed space, he doesn't know if it's gonna last, and there was no opportunity to work through it. And like through that week of just being on the break and giving him space, and then after he broke up with me on the phone, it was just like I literally felt like my life was falling apart. Like, literally after I get out of the hospital, then I get broken up with, and then my infection just gets worse, and I get told that I need to have an emergency flight home for emergency surgery, and like do you ever just like feel like your whole life is falling apart? Because yeah, same. And it's just like so many things at once, and like I seriously feel like through that whole like recovering from the rash with the infection, like not being able to eat or sleep, like the emotional toll that like my body was taking was like, I think that really added to it. And like I really was trying to sleep and eat, and like nothing was working, and I don't know, it's like learning that like the pain of like a broken heart is like a whole different pain. Like, I've been through a lot. This is a different kind, and like I know that sounds like really dramatic, but that's just how I feel. And yeah, like I don't know, I went out to Boise, and like it was so nice to have a change of scenery, and like I have so many distractions and like so many good things happening. So it's like, yes, there's this really big negative thing, but like there's also so many amazing things happening in my life right now. Like, I was just on the daily news that played like on air, and like I have so many projects I'm working on that are coming, and I have so many other opportunities that are happening, and like at the end of the day, like my family is just showing me so much support and just assuring me like all of the good things with this. My sister even like showed me, she was like, look, the first hard thing came up, and he was like so quick to like dip out. He's not even returning like phone calls or texts, and he's just leaving you on red, like full on ghost mode. All I know is like the pain I've been going through lately is nothing I ever want to have to experience again. Like, it hurts so bad. And I just else to say. It's just really hard. I was just like so sure of us. Like, you guys have seen the comments, the posts, the videos. He refers to me as his wife. Like, he's shopping at Walmart and shows me like baby clothes. He's like, one day, let's give it 5 or 6 years, and you think you have your whole life planned, and then he changes his mind. It's so hard to accept, because like one minute I'm like daydreaming of just hopping on a flight to Dallas, showing up at the apartment, like hoping to feel like I gave 110% into fixing this. But like at the end of the day, like, how am I supposed to just like spring that on him and be like, take me back? Like, of course I want to do that, but like, reality check, he's not texting you back, and it's for a reason. Like, he changed his mind. Like, he doesn't want to see you. And I asked him twice throughout all of this, like, would it be beneficial for me to come out there? No reply. A week later, I was like, so was there any intent on replying back to me? No reply. Yeah, so it hasn't been easy, and I'm just left with like so many questions. I'm trying really hard to remain positive. Like, I have my moments throughout the days where I'm just like crying and I can't get up, and I have my moments where I'm like really strong and positive, and I'm out and about with my sister, just trying to be distracted, I guess. And you know, who knows, maybe I'll turn this like into some sort of series, or I'll make another video about how I personally got through my breakup, because I know that I'm not the only one who has gone through it or who will go through it. But like at the end of the day, like, I've always looked at like my hardships in life to be like something like, I know I'm strong, and like I've always looked at the horrible things that have happened in my life as kind of ways to like be positive about it, because now I have that experience like under my belt and I can help someone else. And so it's actually kind of cool, and it's such a blessing that at this day I do have a platform where I can share about these hardships and like let people know they're not alone. And like, I still remain positive, and my main like life phrase is choose joy, and that's just for so many reasons. Like, I've been through a lot. Like, not to like drop another bomb on you guys, but when I was 17, my dad committed suicide. He hung himself and was addicted to drugs, and that was really hard, especially as a 17-year-old. But like now today, I have something to share with people, and like there are so many hardships that people go through, and they like can allow that to be something that keeps them really sad or depressed, or it just like ruins them. But for me, I've always been someone who allows the things from my past to be someone who just makes me stronger, and just like thank God for giving me the strength to make through it. So here I am sharing something really, really hard, and like I said, I never thought I'd be here changing or sharing something so hard and just being so honest about something. But it's just like, it's just so crazy. Like, when I met Ethan, it's just like one of those things where we were like shook. We were like, how do we actually feel this way? Like, these are the things they talk about in the movies. Like, we didn't believe that the feelings we had for each other were actually real. We just really saw like together forever. So yeah, thank you to everyone who has allowed me to just go through this privately, and for those of you who have out of love reached out to me because they just hope I'm okay, they're there for me. I thank you guys. I just made this video in hopes that it would help address like the number of DMs and comments, and hopefully this will decrease further questions and comments, because it's obviously something that I'm trying to work through, and I'm just really hurting, and trying to stay positive and get through this. So I'm just hoping that through this video you guys will just respect that I'm still healing, and I'm doing everything I can to continue so. Ethan is an amazing guy, the best guy I've ever met, so no harm to him at all. Like, we are on like amazing terms. We still like have made it clear, you know, we still love each other, but it's not what he wants. And you know, like for me, you know, I still love him, and he'll always have a place in my heart, but this is something that I need to get through. Obviously I love him so much, but at the end of the day, like, you know, he obviously doesn't want to work this out. My friend told me like, the right guy won't tell you the right or wrong thing, and you can't tell the right guy the right or wrong thing. So yeah, like if this is what he's choosing, like obviously I want him to feel so happy and whole, and just himself. Like, that's all that I would ever want anyone who I love to feel. And if that's without me, then I just have to accept that, because that's what's gonna make him happy, and I care about him enough to want that so bad for him. For me, I know I'll be okay. I always am okay. I'm gonna get through it. I will get through it, and I'm really excited to just be able to like learn more about myself and just see like how strong I can be and how strong I know I am. This is just another speed bump in the road, but I know that God has really big things for me, and that's all I can really hold on to, that I am loved and beautiful, and I don't have to keep questioning like who I am like through this. I've just been like wondering why, like, am I not pretty enough? Am I not skinny enough? Am I not successful enough? Like, am I not whatever? And it's just like crazy, the self-confidence that gets crushed throughout a breakup when someone makes you feel so strong and so confident, how quickly it can diminish. And I'm doing everything I can to get that back. And another pro tip, I've been doing like a full face of makeup like every day, just in hopes that I won't cry, because I don't want to cry off my makeup. So yeah, I don't know, I'm doing it. I'm getting up every day, I'm staying active, and just trying to like keep my spirits high and keep close to everyone who I know does love me and reminds me how loved I am. And yeah, I don't know, I have a lot of fun things coming up, so hopefully, you know, that'll help me get through it. And yeah, I'm really sorry. I was really hoping that this would be a more positive video, but wow, I'm clearly still so broken over it. So just please keep me in your good thoughts and prayers, and thank you again for giving me the grace and patience to get through this.